let's gain further insight before a decision is given. There was a gentleman that brought up
Excuse
Cobra.
me, can I have a question regarding the March 7th meeting? Have we analyzed whether or not that will exceed any deadlines imposed by the FCC?
I didn't believe that FCC was
Because
part of our concerns, was it, Bruce?
That was my understanding, but in talking with Mr. Boltz, that may not be the case.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't want to, the way that works is the FCC issued some regulations and sets a pretty firm deadline about when you need a decision on one of these things. And I thought the initial plan would be to make, hold the hearing in January and then make a decision in February. And
You are investigating it now, or can Bruce ask for a continuance?
that is my other concern, is when we requested a continuance earlier, at least in some correspondence, they indicated that, the MPC wasn't a problem, but they did not want to extend the FCC deadlines. And that's what raised the red flag with me.
So what is the hearing date that we have now?
March 7th.
Okay, could you expect that?
Wait, that's not the hearing date. We had the hearing already.
Yeah,
That's the voting date.
the voting date.
Okay, that's right.
That, I misspoke,
Okay.
but,
So you're saying we have to act on it tonight?
not necessarily tonight, but I thought sometime in mid to late mid-February was the FCC deadline.
Okay, can you confirm that, and then?
And Bruce and I will get the deadlines figured out tomorrow morning, just so, and maybe we'll add something to the February 15th agenda.
But other than that, we're planning on March 7th, short of the FCC's trumping our MPC.
And maybe in the meantime, we can reach out to them and see if they object to if we make a decision on March 7th.
No, that's not the issue. They gave us an extension for the hearing.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but so then we still have our 45 or 60 days after a hearing, according to the MPC, to actually render a decision. That's the other thing.
It's two different goals, though.
Well, I know, so you're checking with us for the FCC, but we're fine. We don't need their permission to vote, to wait till March 7th to vote on the hearing that we just had, like 2 weeks ago.
True. I'm just saying, they're also allowed to extend the FCC deadline.
Oh,
So I'm going to say, will you extend that to March 7th, and we'll make a decision then, and then we don't need to worry about this stuff. So
All
that's
right,
something we'll look
then, be
into.
less research then, but you have to.
If they can just say, yeah, do it March 7th, and we're fine, then
All
we're
right,
good.
Bruce, will you get to them then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us know right away.
Tomorrow.
The other item brought up by Mr. Beatty at the podium last month was the Cobra issue. And Don, do you have an update on Cobra within the township?
Yeah, currently there are no participants on Cobra.
Okay, enough said.
Yep, Treasury bond. Can you speak on that? Set to cover the amount of the cash received in the month was brought up last month.
Right, the treasurer's bond is set at $350,000. According to our auditors, that bond is to represent the amount of cash that is available to the township on a monthly basis. We're lucky if we take in maybe $500 a month.
Well, wait a minute.
In cash?
Wait, who regulates this, Don?
Who regulates?
The bond that you're required to have?
The second-class township code.
Right.
Okay, I want to know exactly what it says. Can you just give me the site on it, I'll check that.
Okay.
But I believe that cash means cash or checks. Checks are cash.
He explained, we talked, I'll show you the email too I got from the auditors as well, but okay, that's fine. I'll send you that provision in. Okay.
Thank you.
And for the benefit of the public, may we continue this on old business for next month and get a summary, all right, Elizabeth?
Yep.
The last item was Ciotti Fire Hydrant. You have an update on
Chris has it.
Chris?
And Ralph is here now. Good evening.
Chris, give us the update first, Chris.
Okay, I spoke with the water company immediately after last month's meeting, and we went back and forth several times. They are currently, and they couldn't get me an answer before tonight's meeting, they're analyzing whether they'll allow a private resident to put a fire hydrant on a private street and be responsible for all the costs. They haven't got us an answer to that yet, but that's what we're still waiting for that.
Now, the woman that you're talking to, I called her, and she was unaware of anything that was going on with this fire hydrant. But she's in Reading, Hershey. All right, and I gave Don a local man's number tonight, and he said, this woman, all she is a lobbyist for American Water. We shouldn't even be dealing with her. So I gave Don a number of a contact here, a local, which he will handle it, and he already approved it all. This here is Lucas, and he already approved everything with the fire hydrant at free cost, and they would work up the same with the township.
They would do
this
what?
woman here,
They would do what?
they'll put the fire hydrant in free of cost, okay? And then work out with the township as far as how we're gonna pay for it.
That wasn't our agreement, though. We still need that petition that.
I gave the petition, I gave it to
Okay,
them
all
the
right.
day after the meeting, they have it.
Okay. Did you hear that, what he's
Well,
calling?
he said
We talked
he's gonna
before the
talk to
meeting,
them
right.
about it.
Tell us, Don.
What we're going to do is we're going to determine the number of people that are affected by the hydrant installed on Ciotti Lane. And then what would happen is when Mr. Ciotti passes the petition by, around, those individuals will know that they're being assessed for a hydrant, not that, hey, we're all getting a free fire hydrant. They'll know that there's an annual assessment that they'll have to pay for the cost of that fire hydrant.
Yeah, you're aware of that. In fact, Frank, you agreed to pay the,
I agree to pay for myself if we want to do it.
Right.
We're gonna do it.
so what's the problem?
It's $15 a month fee. You know, what upsets me is originally there was supposed to be a fire hydrant put in on the property by the water company agreed to it and the engineering company. Cecil Township eliminated it. I mean, the man that they had to do it, and I talked to the fire chief and they agreed they should be put there. It's over 1,060 feet from my son's house. That was the fire hydrant now. We've been fighting for water up there for years. We finally get water. And you see houses burning down in Cecil Township because they can't get water. And now you have a means to have water there, and they eliminate something for fire protection. It's so stupid. I don't understand it at all, how you can make a decision like that and just eliminate a fire hydrant that should be put there. That's just hard for me to understand.
Elizabeth, to your point, you just said Mr. Ciotti will pay for that hydrant.
That's what he said at the
I
last
said,
meeting.
we'll pay for the monthly fee. But you people have to tell them to go ahead and install it.
So we would have to attach that to his property, though. I mean, in perpetuity, should someone else take ownership of his home when he's not there, right? I mean, do you understand my point?
But Chris is working with somebody. Chris,
I
you may,
understand the distance.
listen, you may not agree with what he said, but I know you have a contact that there's, he's supposed to get an answer back to you, right?
Yes, and that's Melody, who you said is
Is she a lobbyist or does she work for a
She works for the company, and she actually referenced that Mr. Lucas is who she was trying to talk to.
She said she was gonna turn it over to him, but I talked to her, she said she knew nothing about the fire the day I talked to her. When Dawn sent me the email, I called her up the very day, she said, I know nothing about this fire, that's what she says. She told
We
me.
spoke about that, and I can assure you, she may have
She
had a
did.
recollection.
And I told her, Mr. Lucas was handling it, she said, I'll turn it all over to him, so she told me. And it'll be done locally instead of out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I'll just wait to hear from you, Dawn. All right, thank you. That's all the old.
We do have an executive session on a patent litigation and something about the Mark West appeal. I think those are the two items that we have to.
Well, I have one more thing. This Klinger Park, the fields, are they in use or being able to be used? I've never really been up there.
Two of them are playable. One will be playable this season, right? The one was done 2 years ago. They have to wait 2 years for the turf to establish. So what was her one ready?
They played on two of them in the fall, and then the third this will start.
We are going, we do have to go to the executive session for those two litigation items. And we will be back. There's nothing else for us to vote on here.